Love, they say, is never easy. For James, a once towering CEO in the world of agriculture and infrastructure, and Diep, a woman of modest roots who has weathered hardship since childhood, love was always fragile, too different, too delicate. Yet they held on, defying odds and whispers. Now, with James's empire suddenly crumbling under the weight of betrayal and financial ruin, their relationship faces its most brutal test. Can love survive when the world built around it collapses? Or will Diep be forced to lean on a man whose future hangs by a thread? A house of warmth amid ruin. The evening smelled of ripe pears as Diep hurried back from the market, hands roughened from harvest. She was late again. Inside their small wooden farmhouse, silence lingered, broken only by the soft scratch of a crayon. James, sleeves rolled up, flour dusting his palms, knelt beside little Nay. The man once commanding glittering boardrooms was now stirring chicken soup, his life a world away from contracts and skyscrapers. When Diep stepped through the door, she was met with laughter and the aroma of home. At dinner, James gently asked if Nay would call Diep mother. The little girl's trembling voice cracked with longing, and tears spilled. Diep bent down, whispering promises of love and protection. For a moment, debts and rivals vanished. But reality intruded. A phone vibrating against the table delivered grim news: investments withdrawn, projects frozen, rumors of betrayal. The empire James built was being dismantled by John, once an ally, now a ruthless rival. The shadows of fear. As Diep washed dishes, James watched, heavy with unspoken dread. She knew that look. She had grown up with hardship, barefoot in muddy fields, carrying responsibilities too early. Stepping close, she whispered, "We will find a way." Yet even she trembled. Could love between a city-born executive and a village girl survive the storm ahead? Days blurred into collapsing contracts and midnight strategy calls. James borrowed money, pleaded with shareholders, and considered sacrificing his reputation to protect employees. At night, he held Diep tightly, pretending strength. She, in turn, wondered if loving him meant forever living in crises she had never chosen. Yet when she watched him teach Nay how to hold a pencil, his praise soft and patient, she saw not a CEO, but a man choosing kindness over greed. Love as a battlefield. At dawn, pale light spilled across the fields. James's voice was quiet but resolute. "John thinks he can destroy me." "This isn't just business anymore, it's the life we're building." Diep squeezed his hand. Courage would be demanded of them both. As the sun rose, she decided she would not walk away, and James vowed to fight, for her, for Nay, for their fragile dream. But storms gathered fast. Investors pulled out. Projects stalled. James admitted one night, shoulders slumped, "I don't know if I can fix this." Too deep, her calloused hand warm in his, replied, "You don't have to fix it alone." That storm broke violently, rain pounding the roof while Nay slept. At the kitchen table, under dim light, James spread unpaid bills and frozen contracts. Too Deep listened, grounding him with reminders of community and trust. Her quiet faith steadied him more than any balance sheet. The rivalry of hearts. Desperation drove James to seek Min, a respected CEO with hidden feelings for Too Deep. Their conversation was tense but civil. Min agreed to consider a partnership, yet it would not be out of pity. Rivalry simmered beneath courtesy. That night, Too Deep greeted James with soup and a tired smile. He silently vowed not to let jealousy break them. Together they carried burdens, Too Deep selling vegetables to save every coin, James chasing reluctant investors. Evenings brought shared meals, Nay's laughter, and whispered dreams, but John's sabotage escalated. Suppliers were bribed, materials cut off. James's brother uncovered the truth. John's grudge stemmed from an old family land dispute. In secret under the willow tree, they plotted a counter-move, baiting John into revealing his schemes. Too Deep, restless at night, reflected on the choice she had made. James's world was foreign, but her heart ached at the thought of leaving. Love, she realized, was never meant to be easy. Between fear and hope, morning light on pear trees reminded Too Deep of life's cycles. Seasons change, hardship does not last forever. She whispered toward the fields, "We will survive this." "We have to." James, now steadier, returned to Min's office with fire in his eyes. "I'm not here to beg. I'm here to prove I won't abandon what matters." Min, watching him, finally nodded, rivalry giving way to respect. Meanwhile, on the farm, Too Deep watched Nay's laughter fill the air. Fragile threads held their happiness together. For now, love still endured. One evening, headlights swept across the yard as James returned late. Too Deep waited on the porch, the faint aroma of soup still lingering. He sat beside her, shoulders heavy. Min has agreed to consider the project, but John is already setting another trap. Breaking the silence, James confessed, "I'm scared." Too Deep, startled by the honesty, held his hand. "Fear doesn't make you weak. It makes you human." Betrayal exposed. Threats arrived at James's office. Cars lingered too long outside their home. Locks were changed, precautions tightened. Yet moments of tenderness remained. Nay skipping through pear orchards, Too Deep's laughter in sunlight, James watching with a fleeting smile. But John struck again. A shipment was diverted, sabotaging James's reputation. This time, his brother's plan worked. John's men were caught, confessions recorded, motives revealed. That night, James placed the recorder on the table. For the first time in weeks, hope flickered. Diep's relief was palpable, though fear lingered. She asked only one thing. Whatever happens, promise me you'll come back to us. James held her face, whispering, I promise. Our love, it's fragile and fierce at once. Let the world try to break it. We're still here. Lessons in resilience. As dawn broke, the pear trees shimmered with dew. The farmhouse stood steady, a symbol of survival. Their love, tested by betrayal, ruin, jealousy, and fear, remained intact. This is not a story of wealth or status. It is one of resilience, trust, and shared effort. James and Diep remind us that love is not sustained by romance alone, but by patience when plans collapse, forgiveness when pride falters, and courage when storms arrive. True love, the kind that endures, is forged not in ease but in struggle, where two people choose, again and again, to fight side by side.